songs.
So, are you getting your fill of Christmas carols this year? I feel like they start earlier and earlier.
Oh, I never get tired of Christmas music.
Yeah.
Ever. But I do think radio stations could, maybe wait until after Thanksgiving. Just a thought.
A completely fair point. So today we're looking at I think, a fascinating paradox. The Beatles, as a band, never once recorded a Christmas single.
Right. It just wasn't their thing.
And yet, after they split, two of the members went on to create these huge, enduring holiday standards that are, fundamentally the opposite of each other.
It's the perfect snapshot of how they diverged, isn't it?
Yeah.
John Lennon gives us this protest anthem that's kind of disguised as a carol.
A really serious statement.
Exactly. And then just 8 years later, Paul McCartney gives us this aggressively cheerful, super commercial synthesizer earworm.
That's our mission today. We want to understand the thinking behind these two massive hits. We'll look at how John and Paul approached the holiday song, why George Harrison stayed completely silent, and then we'll check the 2025 charts.
Because they are still battling it out right now in the Billboard Top 20, which is just incredible.
The fact that, 50 years later, these songs are still competing with Taylor Swift and everyone else, it says a lot. So let's start with John.
Okay, Happy Christmas. War is Over. From 1971.
Right. And the main thing to understand is that this song wasn't really just a Christmas song. It was a protest song that was, using the holiday as a delivery mechanism.
That's a perfect way to put it. It was a direct extension of the activism he and Yoko Ono were already famous for. You have to remember, their War is Over, if you want it, campaign.
The billboards, right. They were everywhere.
Everywhere. Plastered in major cities all over the world. It was specifically targeting the Vietnam War, and this song was the next phase of that campaign.
So to get that message on the radio, he needed a way to get past the gatekeepers, the programmers who might think it's too political.
Precisely. And John knew that Christmas is the one time of year when radio is a little more open, as long as it sounds right. And that's where the producer, Phil Spector, was so key.
They made it sound, for all intents and purposes, like a traditional Christmas carol.
It's the ultimate Trojan horse. You've got the gentle acoustic guitar, you've got the sleigh bells, and of course that masterstroke of adding the children's choir from Harlem. If he had released it as some sort of rock anthem, it would have been instantly labeled too political. But by wrapping that anti-war message in this beautiful, familiar package, it just slipped right on the air. It gave stations an excuse, Oh, it's just a lovely holiday song.
And at the heart of it is that one line, war is over if you want it. It's so simple, but it works on a couple of different levels.
Oh, for sure. On one hand, it's incredibly hopeful and empowering. It's saying that we, the people, actually have the power to stop conflict. The agency is with us.
But then there's the other side of it.
The other side is almost an accusation. If war isn't over, then it implies that, maybe we don't want it enough, that we're all a bit complacent. It's this quiet challenge tucked inside a Christmas song. Just brilliant.
And he got what he wanted. He apparently said he wanted to write a Christmas standard that would last forever, something that would be played right alongside White Christmas.
And sadly, the reason it has lasted is because its message is always relevant. War hasn't gone out of style. So every December, that call for peace feels urgent all over again.
Okay, so if John smuggled a protest into a Christmas carol, Paul McCartney, 8 years later in 1979, did. Not that.
Not that at all. Wonderful Christmas Time is just pure, unfiltered, almost aggressive cheerfulness.
It is relentlessly commercial. The message is basically, we're having a party, that's it.
And musically, it is a time capsule of the late 70s.
Wow.
It's built entirely on those very primitive synthesizers. That bouncy synth line is the whole song.
And that's where a lot of the criticism comes from, right? I think you once called it the musical version of a light-up Christmas sweater.
I stand by it. It's bright. It's festive, you can't ignore it,
right?
And it is brutally divisive. Music critics especially just seem to hate this song.
They're so brutal about it. It's always on the worst Christmas songs of all time lists.
Usually because of that synth riff and what they call its cheesy production.
Yep.
But the public clearly doesn't care about what the critics think.
Right. So why does it work? Why is it still so popular?
Because Paul is a master of simple, effective melody. The song is incredibly catchy. It creates a mood instantly. People aren't analyzing the vintage synth tones. They're just feeling the festive energy. It's for parties, not for deep thinking.
And from a business perspective, it's not just a song. It's a financial engine for him.
This is the really amazing part. In spite of all the critical hate, that one song is estimated to bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars for him every single year.
Every year.
Wow. Every single year. Every time it's in a store, a movie, an ad, Paul gets paid. And honestly, getting rich off a song that critics despise feels very on brand for Paul McCartney. He's always cared more about the audience than the critics.
So you've got these two totally opposite strategies, the intellectual protest song versus the pure commercial machine.
Perfectly put.
Which brings us to the third point of the triangle. George Harrison, he gave us nothing. No Christmas song. And his silence is maybe the most interesting part of this whole story.
It's incredibly revealing, isn't it? If you think about where George's head was at in the 1970s, it makes perfect sense. He was fully committed to his Hindu spirituality, to Eastern philosophy.
And in that worldview, the commercial Western idea of Christmas just doesn't really have a place.
Exactly. For him to write a song specifically designed to be played in shopping malls to sell things, it would have been a complete contradiction of everything he stood for in his solo career.
He was trying to get away from all that commercialism.
He was. His goal was to write songs about spiritual truth, not about Santa Claus. It would have felt like pandering to him, maybe even like hypocrisy. He took his beliefs very, very seriously.
So his silence was an artistic statement. John and Paul are arguing about what a Christmas song can be, and George is just stepping outside of the argument altogether.
A very powerful choice.
Okay, let's jump to today, December 20th, 2025. How are these two very different songs actually doing against each other on the charts right now?
Well, the first thing you notice is just how much the classics dominate. In the Billboard Hot 100's top 15, something like 80% of the songs are from the mid-20th century. Mariah Carey, of course, is just a monster hit that won't quit, so the old songs are definitely winning.
And right in the middle of that fight is Paul McCartney. Wonderful Christmas Time is sitting at number 17. That is incredibly high.
It is. And Paul's strength comes from what we'd call raw streaming numbers, just sheer volume.
So it's on all the playlists.
Every single upbeat Christmas party or holiday shopping playlist you can find. It's background music by design, and that just drives its numbers through the roof. It's pure commercial momentum.
And what about John? Where does Happy Christmas land?
It's just a few spots behind, holding strong at number 20.
So still very much in the game.
Oh, absolutely. But John's song wins on a different metric, social engagement. That means people are actively sharing it, they're commenting on it, they're seeking it out. It's not background noise. It's something people listen to with intention.
And it's a radio staple for its message.
For sure. Radio loves it for its message of peace and unity. So, Paul wins on ubiquity, and John wins on emotional resonance. Their strategies are still playing out perfectly, 50 years later.
And just to give a little more context, who else are they up against?
Get this. Brenda Lee's Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree is at number 2, a song from 1958. It just passed 1 billion streams.
1 billion, that's insane.
It is. And if you want to find the highest charting modern Christmas song, you've got to scroll way down to find Ariana Grande's Santa Tell Me.
So the classics are just an unstoppable force. Even Dean Martin's Let It Snow is apparently the top choice for background music in offices and stores.
It's true. And of course, the all-time king, Bing Crosby's White Christmas, is still the best-selling physical single ever. The staying power is just amazing.
So Lennon and McCartney's legacies are still alive, still competing, and still defining the two poles of what a holiday song can be.
It really leaves you with a thought to consider. You know, when you're listening to holiday music this year, pay attention to which songs stick with you. Notice how often the super cheerful ones are just there.
Yeah.
They're driven by commercial momentum. But the ones that truly endure across generations, like John's, they almost always combine a real emotion or a timeless message with that great melody. That's the secret sauce.
Well, thanks for joining us today. Whenever you feel like knowing more about the Beatles, visit us at BeatlesRewind.com. Every day, we do something new there. Song reviews, album reviews, movie reviews, book reviews, documentaries, trivia, all things Beatles. Every day, 8 days a week. You can find us on the website, BeatlesRewind.com. You can subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Podcasts, practically anywhere on the intertubes, the Beatles. All day, every day. We'll do it again tomorrow.
Absolutely. See you
then. Until next time, when you listen.
Your mind conducts its own symphony.